Hello folks, Charlie in Westeros here with another dose of random house facts from Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire you just might not know about. Today I will be sharing with you all 5 fun facts about House Arryn and the Vale, and, well, you all know how this goes, let's just jump right into this video. Number 1. Origins of the Vale Mountain Clans. Assuming you haven't read the books and haven't watched Season 1 of Game of Thrones in some time, then you might not remember the Vale Mountain clans who attacked Catelyn Stark's retinue when she was traveling to the Vale and who, later, also aligned themselves with Tyrion Lannister. These seemingly wild and unruly people are actually quite similar to the wildlings north of the Wall in more than one way. During the Andal invasion of Westeros, these conquerors first landed on the continent by ship via the eastern shores of the Vale of Arryn. While the first men living in the area originally fought back against the invaders who worshipped the Seven, some of these first men eventually submitted to and intermarried with the Andals, especially following the infamous Battle of the Seven Stars. This victory both secured the region under Andal domination and elevated House Arryn as kings of the mountain and the Vale. However, not all first men chose to kneel to these invaders. These first men who chose to continue the resistance fled from the fertile lands of the Vale proper and journeyed into the nearby mountains of the Moon, effectively becoming the mountain clans we know of today in Game of Thrones. To this day, they are sometimes referred to as wildlings, yes, just like the free folk beyond the Wall, and they live with the hope of one day reclaiming the Vale of Arryn from their Andal opponents. Number 2. A Dragonrider from the Vale. Although he is sometimes conflated with Arrys Arryn as the founder of House Arryn, the legendary Winged Knight was in fact a first man from thousands of years before the Andals reached Westeros. According to the tales about him, this figure is said to have flown upon a huge falcon and had armies of eagles at his command. And before you ask, no, his name wasn't Gandalf. That said, this has led certain Westerosi historians like Archmaester Peristan to suspect that this tale of a huge falcon in fact derives from him being a dragon rider, thereby making the Winged Knight a distant figurative predecessor to the Valyrian dragon lords later on. That aside, he reportedly won control of the Vale by slaying the Griffin King, the previous ruler of the area. What makes the Winged Knight especially unique, however, is that his wife was actually said to have been one of the children of the forest, dying while giving birth to his son. As such, this is probably one of the few mentions of an actual union between these two races, and in some sense provides us with a shred of evidence that the children of the forest and the First Men in fact did couple with one another. Number 3. Strongwomen of the Vale. Despite a predominance of men ruling as kings and later on as lords of the Vale, the region has had a few powerful female rulers and regents. And I certainly do not include Lysa Arryn in this category. Where Lysa was hysterical and delusional, the opposite can be said of one of the oldest known figures of House Arryn, by the name of Alyssa. She apparently lived somewhere between 6,000 and 2,000 years prior to the current events in the series, and witnessed her husband, brothers, and children killed right in front of her, yet the stoic woman did not even shed a tear. Thousands of years later, during Aegon the Conqueror's invasion of Westeros, Shara Arryn was Queen Regent of the Vale in the name of her son, the young boy king Ronal. After Aegon made his intentions to invade the Seven Kingdoms known, the brazen regent sent him a portrait of herself and also offered him her hand in marriage, with the condition that the Conqueror would make her son his heir. When Aegon refused, the Vale perhaps surprisingly scored a victory against the invading Targaryen fleet in naval warfare, although their own ships burned shortly thereafter by Visenya and her dragon, Vhagar. While all the other regions of Westeros fell to Aegon, Shara resisted, for a time, by amassing the Vale army at the Bloody Gate to the Eyrie. However, Shara was defeated in a pretty unique way. Aegon sent none other than his sister-wife Visenya to the top of the Eyrie, riding her dragon. When Shara returned there, she found her son sitting on Visenya's lap, asking the Targaryen queen if he could ride the dragon with her. Sure enough, Shara almost immediately bent the knee, and the Arryns were declared Wardens of the Vale. 100 years after Aegon's conquest, there was another prominent figure of the house ruling the Vale in the form of Jane Arryn, also known as the Maiden of the Vale. Other than being a ruler in her own right, Jane was notable for having supported the cause of Rhaenyra Targaryen during the Dance of the Dragons, providing the queen with soldiers to join her host. Following the end of the war, Lady Jane served as one of the original 7 regents to the young king Aegon III. It would seem that since her death, however, there haven't been any truly notable female rulers in the Vale thus far. Number 4. The Arryns as Wardens of the East, featuring Jaime Lannister. Though this was a noteworthy event, it is one that is oftentimes glossed over given the more significant events that occurred in the first book of A Song of Ice and Fire. Following the death of the then Lord Jon Arryn of the Vale, the clueless King Robert Baratheon granted the traditional Arryn title of Warden of the East to Jaime Lannister, rather than the young Lord Robin Arryn. This effectively anchored the Lords of the Vale. However, following the death of King Robert Baratheon and the return of Tywin Lannister as Hand of the King, the title was returned to House Arryn in order to maintain the allegiance of the Vale. Nevertheless, this occurrence effectively means that Jaime of House Lannister was one of the only known individuals outside of House Arryn to actually hold that title, and possibly for the shortest period of time ever. Number 5. The Whispers of Lord Robin Arryn's True Parentage. Although the young Lord Robert, more commonly known as Sweet Robin Arryn, is the uncontested Lord of the Vale and the son of the previous Lord Jon Arryn by his wife Lysa Tully, there are some fans of the series who, for lack of better words, have posited some doubts with respect to his official parentage. Although I think we have plenty of proof to demonstrate that Lysa is indeed his mother, it is Lord Jon Arryn's paternity that is sometimes doubted. The evidence typically brought up to discredit Jon's fatherhood includes the notion that his 2 previous wives effectively died without producing any living children, and he was already quite old by the time he married Lysa Tully. Not only was the marriage loveless, but it only produced several miscarriages, until Lysa finally gave birth to the sickly Robert Sweet Robin Arryn. However, it is noteworthy that even during her marriage to Jon, Lysa effectively maintained her relationship with Peter Baelish, the man she had loved since childhood. Of course, we all know the extent of her devotion to the man, and although it would result in her untimely death, his intention to keep the young Robin alive for now is noteworthy, although we all know even he isn't opposed to killing a boy that could very well be of his own blood if it benefits his interests. Well folks, those were just 5 fun facts about House Arryn you just might not have known about. I realize a number of you have requested a variety of fun fact videos, including one for House Dane and one for House Forrester, and I fully intend on getting to those houses. But first, I do wish to complete the fact videos for the 9 major houses of Westeros. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.
I cannot give you back your homes, but perhaps I can give you just